ENT 121, Introduction to Entrepreneurship, Study Session 1, Concept of Entrepreneur and Entrepreneurship. Introduction. In this study session, you are going to learn about the concept of entrepreneurship, the various definitions of entrepreneurship and entrepreneur. The types of entrepreneurs and their characteristics will also be covered. The concept of entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is an individual who creates something of value at a time and place where there was no such thing before. He initiates the development of a desirable product or service and then builds an organization to exploit it. An entrepreneur is one that engages in a number of Schumpeter's 4 categories of behavior. That is, the goals are, to grow, to be profitable, to be innovative in its strategy and management, and to pursue new opportunities. The art of creating new ventures and proceeding through them is entrepreneurship. It is what the entrepreneur does. Entrepreneurship can be defined as the process of using private initiative to transform a business concept into a new venture or to grow and diversify an existing venture or enterprise with high growth potential. Entrepreneurs identify an innovation to seize an opportunity, mobilize money and management skills, and take calculated risks to open markets for new products. Entrepreneurship development, ED, refers to the process of enhancing entrepreneurial skills and knowledge through structured training and institution building programs. ED aims to enlarge the base of entrepreneurs in order to hasten the pace at which new ventures are created. This accelerates employment generation and economic development. Entrepreneurship development focuses on the individual who wishes to start or expand a business. Small and medium enterprise, SME, development, on the other hand, focuses on developing the enterprise, whether or not it employs or is led by individuals who can be considered entrepreneurial. Furthermore, entrepreneurship development concentrates more on growth potential and innovation. Historical origin and development of entrepreneurship. The word entrepreneur originates from a 13th century French verb, entrepreneur, meaning to do something or to undertake. The first academic use of the word entrepreneur by an economist, Richard Cantillon, was likely in 1755, in his essay Essai sur la nature du commerce en général. Cantillon described the entrepreneur as a rational decision-maker who assumed the risk and provided management for the firm. The thread of entrepreneurship can also be found in Adam Smith's seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, in 1776. To Adam Smith, however, the entrepreneur was a proprietary capitalist and employer who determined the overall direction of the business, provided required capital, bore the risk, and allocated the resources of the business in day-to-day management. Types of entrepreneurs. The entrepreneurs possess many types, which are explained below. 1. Startup entrepreneurs. They can be regarded as engaging in the purest form of entrepreneurship. In this context, the individual develops a solution to some problem or develops science that can be transferable into a usable product or service. It is the first extremity of a continuum that moves from the creative, intuitive application of resources and imagination to a more established role of the entrepreneurial manager in a large structured organization. The element of risk-taking is highest at this point in terms of reputation and personal capital. The 4 categories of startup entrepreneurs are as follows. A. Inventor. This defines unique, new concepts and technology. The invention may be intuitively developed. B. Innovator. Adapt to a new concept or technology to solve new or existent problems. He creates solutions from scientific or technical development and then goes on to market them. C. Marketer. They identify a need in the market and then satisfy such with a new product or one that substitutes more efficiently for the existing or former product. D. Opportunist, essentially a stockbroker, an arbitrager, matches need with services and then a commission. It is characterized by limited creativity and the presumption is that such individuals are not interested in activities that contribute to national wealth. 2. Joint venture entrepreneurs. These are the kind of entrepreneurs that takes the risk of introducing a new product, service, or technology in an environment where it never existed before. An example is the creation of a franchise in strange territory. 3. Takeover entrepreneur. Many entrepreneurs begin their journey to success by acquiring an existing business. For example, Ted Turner at age 29 began his odyssey by acquiring his father's bankrupt billboard advertising company in 1969. He parlayed it into a number of radio broadcasting stations in Georgia, Atlanta, the market as part of the Turner Broadcasting Systems, which now includes CNN, the international all-news service. 4. The entrepreneur. Here, an individual assumes the role of an entrepreneurial manager in a corporation. The role of corporate entrepreneurs is to renew or restructure the organization by introducing and promoting innovation that leads to managerial productivity. Role of an entrepreneur in economic development. Entrepreneurs promote capital formation by mobilizing the idle saving of the public. They employ their own as well as borrowed resources for setting up their enterprises. Such type of entrepreneurial activities leads to value addition and creation of wealth, which is very essential for the industrial and economic development of the country. 1. Creates large-scale employment opportunities. 2. Promotes balanced regional development. 3. Reduces concentration of economic power. 4. Wealth creation and distribution. 5. Increasing gross national product and per capita income. 6. Improvement in the standard of living. 7. Promotes the country's export trade. Summary of Study Session 1. In this study session, please note the following. An entrepreneur is an individual who creates something, of value at a time and place where there was no such thing before. He initiates the development of a desirable product or service and then builds an organization to exploit it. The difference between entrepreneur and entrepreneurship was also discussed. The historical origin and development of entrepreneurship are also explained. The word entrepreneur originates from a 13th century French verb, entrepreneur, meaning to do something or to undertake. Study Session 2, Theories and the Practice of Entrepreneurship. Introduction. The historical evolution of ideas about the entrepreneur is a wide-ranging subject and one that can be organized in different ways, theorist by theorist, period by period, issue by issue, and so forth. A recognizably modern idea of the entrepreneur begins to emerge in the 18th century. The theories of entrepreneurship. One of Canutillo's remarkable contributions to economic thought is that he was the first to stress and analyze the entrepreneur. To this real-world merchant, banker, and speculator, it would have been inconceivable to fall into the Ricardian, Walrasian and neoclassical trap of assuming that the market is characterized by perfect knowledge and a static world of certainty. In a more typical case, the entrepreneur is alert to a new product or a superior production process and steps in to fill this market gap before others. Success, in this view, comes not from following a well-specified maximization problem, but from having some insight that no one else has. According to Cantillon, an entrepreneur is an uncertainty bearer, buying at a fixed price and selling at an uncertain price. Thus the topmost character of the entrepreneur is that he or she must be a risk lover. Social entrepreneurship theory. The concept of social entrepreneurship is not a novel idea, but it recently has become more popular among society and academic research, notably after the publication of The Rise of the Social Entrepreneur by Charles Ledbetter. Social entrepreneurship is the pursuit of innovative products, business practices, and services that focus on solving social issues over profit. A social entrepreneur's goals are generally similar to any other entrepreneur, but they're generally known to put their efforts behind projects that benefit society as a whole over their personal financial stability. Social entrepreneurship is commonly used to qualify all entrepreneurial initiatives that serve a social and/or environmental mission and that is invest a large part of their surpluses in support of their mission. Social entrepreneurship is the attempt to draw upon business techniques to find solutions to social problems. This concept may be applied to a variety of organizations with different sizes, aims, and beliefs. Conventional entrepreneurs typically measure performance in profit and return, but social entrepreneurs also take into account a positive return to society. Social entrepreneurship typically attempts to further broad social, cultural, and environmental goals often associated with the voluntary sector. At times, profit also may be a consideration for certain companies or other social enterprises. Social entrepreneurship in modern society offers an altruistic form of entrepreneurship that focuses on the benefits that society may reap. Simply put, entrepreneurship becomes a social endeavor when it transforms social capital in a way that affects society positively. Schumpeterian theory on entrepreneurship. Schumpeter looks at entrepreneurship as innovation and not imitation. The entrepreneur moves the economic system out of the static equilibrium by creating new products or production methods, thereby rendering others obsolete. This is the process of creative destruction, which Schumpeter saw as the driving force behind economic development. The Schumpeterian entrepreneur differs from imitators in applying new methods of production on the market, in opening up new markets. These creative ability differences give entrepreneurs a chance of accumulation of a surplus, but this eroded as imitators appear in the market using the same methods. The concept of innovation and its corollary development embraces 5 functions. 1. Introduction of a new good. 2. Introduction of a new method of production. 3. Opening of a new market. 4. Conquest of a new source of supply of raw materials and 5. Carrying out a new organization of any industry. Schultz's theory of entrepreneurship. In Schultz's formulation, entrepreneurship has the ability to adjust or reallocate resources in response to changing circumstances. As such, entrepreneurship is an aspect of all human behavior, not a unique function performed by a class of specialists. No matter what part of the economy is being investigated, we observe that people are consciously reallocating their resources in response to changes in economic conditions. Businessmen, farmers, housewives, students, and even university presidents, deans, and research directors make Schultz's list of entrepreneurs. Argues that entrepreneurship is closely connected to situations of disequilibria and that entrepreneurship has the ability to deal with these situations. In disequilibrium, agents are acting suboptimally and can reallocate their resources to achieve a higher level of satisfaction. Entrepreneurship has the ability to coordinate this reallocation efficiently, and it follows that agents have different degrees of entrepreneurial ability. Schultz argues that, in disequilibrium, individuals know that opportunities to increase satisfaction exist, but the reallocating process requires time. A better allocation of resources can be achieved either by experimenting, trial and error, or by investing in human capital. Knight theory of entrepreneurship. According to Knight theory, the entrepreneur is the kind of person that is willing to put his career and financial security on the line for an idea, spending his time and capital in an uncertain venture. Frank Knight, in his dissertation, Risk, Uncertainty, and Profit, 1921, is one of the foremost economic works to date. In his work, he differentiated between risk and uncertainty. Knight described the risk as randomness with knowable possibilities, and he defined uncertainty as randomness with unknowable possibilities. For instance, if a businessman loses his store to fire, that is a risk that is calculable because it can be recovered by insurance, but uncertainty is usually a result of human error such as investment in shares or stocks. No one knows if the investment will yield interest or not. Knight made the centrality of his argument on entrepreneurship based on uncertainty. He argued that profit was the reward entrepreneurs gained from pursuing uninsurable risks. Knight classified three types of uncertainty. 1. Risk, which is measurable statistically, such as the probability of drawing a red color ball from a jar containing 5 red balls and 5 white balls. 2. Ambiguity, which is hard to measure statistically, such as the probability of drawing a red ball from a jar containing 5 red balls but with an unknown number of white balls. 3. True uncertainty or Knighting uncertainty, which is impossible to estimate or predict statistically, such as the probability of drawing a red ball from a jar whose number of red balls is unknown as well as the number of other colored balls. Liebenstein theory of entrepreneurship. Liebenstein, in his 1977 paper and in an earlier paper, Liebenstein 1968, identifies and distinguishes between two main roles of entrepreneur: conventional entrepreneurship and innovating entrepreneurship, the shift from the former to the latter contributing more to increasing the rate of economic growth. According to Liebenstein, conventional entrepreneurship engages in activities similar to those already in the industry, or they enter well-established markets, or they use well-known techniques of production and distribution. Innovate entrepreneurs, in contrast, adopt new techniques, overcome gaps in markets, and overcome market imperfections and other obstacles. Drucker theory of entrepreneurship. According to Peter P. Drucker, entrepreneurship is neither a science nor an art. It is practice. It is a knowledge base. Knowledge in entrepreneurship is a means to an end, that is, by the practice. Peter Drucker viewed innovation as the tool or instrument used by entrepreneurs to exploit change as an opportunity. He argued that innovation, as a discipline, is capable of being learned, as well as practice. While he never agreed to a theory of innovation, he realized enough was known to develop it as a practice based on when, where, and how one looks systematically for innovative opportunities and how one judges the chances for their success or the risks of their failure. From Drucker's perspective, systematic innovation consisted of the purposeful and organized search for changes, and in the systematic analysis of the opportunities such changes might offer for economic or social innovation. Personality traits theory. Personality traits as stable qualities that a person shows in most situations. To the trait theorists, there are enduring inborn qualities or potentials of the individual that naturally make him an entrepreneur. Some of the characteristics or behaviors associated with entrepreneurs are that they tend to be more opportunity-driven, they nose around, demonstrate a high level of creativity and innovation, and show a high level of management skills and business know-how. They have also been found to be optimistic, they see the cup as half full than as half empty, emotionally resilient and have the mental energy, they are hard workers, show intense commitment and perseverance, thrive on competitive desire to excel and win, tend to be dissatisfied with the status quo and desire improvement. Entrepreneurs are also transformational in nature, who are lifelong learners and use failure as a tool and springboard. They also believe that they can personally make a difference, are individuals of integrity, and above all visionary. Locus of control. Locus of control is an important aspect of personality. The concept was first introduced by Julian Rotter in the 1950s. A locus of control orientation is a belief about whether the outcomes of our actions are contingent on what we do, internal control orientation, or on events outside our personal control, external control orientation. In this context, the entrepreneur's success comes from his or her own abilities and also support from outside. The former is referred to as an internal locus of control and the latter is referred to as an external locus of control. While individuals with an internal locus of control believe that they are able to control life events, individuals with an external locus of control believe that life's events are the result of external factors, such as chance, luck, or fate. Need for achievement. The need for achievement theory by McClelland, 1961, explained that human beings have a need to succeed, accomplish, excel or achieve. Entrepreneurs are driven by this need to achieve and excel. Need for achievement theory by McClelland, 1961, explained that human beings have a need to succeed, accomplish, excel or achieve. Entrepreneurs are driven by this need to achieve and excel. Sociological entrepreneurship theory. The sociological theory focuses on the social context. In other words, in the sociological theories, the level of analysis is traditionally the society. Reynolds, 1991, has identified 4 social contexts that relate to entrepreneurial opportunity. The first one is a social network. Here, the focus is on building social relationships and bonds that promote trust and not opportunism. In other words, the entrepreneur should not take undue advantage of people to be successful, rather success comes as a result of keeping faith with the people. The second he called the life course stage context, which involves analyzing the life situations and characteristics of individuals who have decided to become entrepreneurs. The experiences of people could influence their thought and action, so they want to do something meaningful with their lives. Anthropological entrepreneurship theory. Anthropology is the study of the origin, development, customs, and beliefs of a community. In other words, the culture of the people in the community. The anthropological theory says that for someone to successfully initiate a venture, the social and cultural context should be examined or considered. Here the emphasis is on the cultural entrepreneurship model. The model says that a new venture is created by the influence of one's culture. Cultural practices lead to entrepreneurial attitudes such as innovation that also lead to venture creation behavior. Individual ethnicity affects attitude and behavior. Resource-based entrepreneurship theories. The resource-based theory of entrepreneurship argues that access to resources by founders is an important predictor of opportunity-based entrepreneurship and new venture growth. This theory stresses the importance of financial, social, and human resources. Thus, access to resources enhances the individual's ability to detect and act upon discovered opportunities. Financial, social and human capital represents 3 classes of theories under the resource-based entrepreneurship theories. Summary of Study Session 2. In this study session, please note the following. 1. Entrepreneur is an individual who creates something of value at a time and place where there was no such thing before. 2. Entrepreneurship development. It refers to the process of enhancing entrepreneurial skills and knowledge through structured training and institution building programs. 3. Undertake. Richard Cantillon made the first academic use of the word entrepreneur in 1755, in his essay sur la nature du commerce en général. 4. There are 4 types of entrepreneurs, namely startup entrepreneur, joint venture entrepreneur, takeover entrepreneur, and the corporate entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are known to be individuals that possess distinct personality traits/characters. 8 of the defining characters of entrepreneurs were listed. Study Session 3, Identifying Business Opportunities. Introduction. In a general sense, the term opportunity implies a good chance or a favorable situation to do something offered by circumstances. In the same vein, business opportunity means a good or favorable change available to run a specific business in a given environment at a given point in time. The term opportunity also covers a product or project. Hence, the identification of an opportunity or a product or project is identical and, therefore, all these 3 terms are used as synonyms. Identifying business opportunities. Good ideas are not necessarily good opportunities. If an idea is not an opportunity, what then is an opportunity? Timmons, 1990, defines an opportunity as having the qualities of being attractive, durable, and timely, and is anchored in a product or service which creates or adds value for its buyer or end user. Technically oriented individuals often identify business opportunities when working on other projects. Each opportunity must be carefully screened and evaluated. This is the most critical element of the entrepreneurial process. The following attributes, Timmons asserts, are associated with a good business opportunity. They are: 1. The windows of opportunity is opening, and remains open long enough. 2. Entry into the market is feasible and achievable. 3. The business has or is able to achieve some competitive advantage, and 4. The business economies are rewarding and allow significant profile. Opportunity screening. The process of screening opportunities is a key step in determining the opportunity around which a business should be developed. Applying screening criteria to business opportunities allows an entrepreneur to focus on key issues that determine which opportunities may have a higher potential. In this way, time will not be wasted in developing a business plan for an idea whose time has not arrived. Screening criteria for business opportunity. There are what are known as boundaries in the screening criteria. The boundaries vary depending on the nature of the business one intends to enter. The criteria put forward are based on plain business sense used by successful entrepreneurs. The criteria listed according to Timmons, 1990, are not exhaustible, but adequately cover issues for screening and evaluating business opportunities. They are: market issue, need, customers, payback to users, value added or created product life. Market structure determinant, number of sellers, distribution or location of sellers, product differentiation, etc. Economic/harvest issues, profit after tax, positive cash flow, return on investment, potential value, capital requirement, and exit mechanism. B. Competitive advantage issues, fixed and variable cost, production, marketing, and distribution. C. Degree of control, prices, costs, channels of supply or resources, and channels of distribution. 3.2 New business assessment. There are a number of critical factors that are important in the assessment of a new business. The new business assessment provides an outlook or method of identifying those critical factors, which assure business success. These criteria for evaluating business opportunities assist in shedding more light on the direction of the business to be pursued. A business passes through 3 phases: pre-startup, startup, and post-startup. Pre-startup begins with an idea for the business and ends when the doors are open for the business. Startup begins with the initiation of sales activities and delivery of products and/or services and ends when business is firmly established beyond short-term threats to survival. Post-startup is a period where it survives until the business is terminated. The 5 critical factors which can determine the success or failure of a business are as follows. 1. Uniqueness of the business. 2. Investment size at the startup. 3. Expected growth of sales. 4. Availability of products. 5. Availability of customer. There are, after all, 2 fundamental criteria for entrepreneur success. The first is having a customer who is willing to pay you a profitable price for a product or service. The second is that you must actually produce and deliver the product or service. The farther a venture removes itself from certainty about these 2 rules, the greater the risk and the greater the time required to offset this risk as the venture moves through the pre-startup and startup periods. Summary of Study Session 3. In this study session, please note the following. 1. Good business opportunities result from an entrepreneur being alert to possibilities. However, each business opportunity must be carefully screened and evaluated. This is the most critical element of the entrepreneurial process. 2. The following are the major highlight that we have learned from this study session. 3. Good business opportunity assessment and evaluation process involves looking at A. The creation and length of the opportunity. B. Its real and perceived value. C. Its risks and return. D. Its fit with the skills and goals of the entrepreneur. E. Its differential advantage in its competitive environment. F. It is important to understand the cause of the opportunity, as the resulting opportunity may have a different market size and time dimension. Study Session 4, Business Ideas. Introduction. Maybe you want to build an empire and become famous, or create a wealth generation machine that you can pass on to your children. Or perhaps you can't convince anyone to recognize your unique vision and you've decided that it will never come to fruition unless you strike out on your own. Or maybe you're thinking of self-employment because you've been unemployed for so long that you feel that you've exhausted all the other options. Idea will help you bring your intention to reality. The purpose of this study session is to teach the various types of business idea and the processes. Developing a business idea. According to Ronan, 1998, it is widely acknowledged that having a bright business idea gives one an advantage of developing a successful business. The world is driven by novelty and newer and better ways to accomplish familiar tasks. The process of developing a bright business idea is by the way of creativity. Sources of business. Business ideas are all within you and within your environment. Some of these business ideas emanate from analysis of market and consumer needs, while others emanate from a long research process. But the truth still remains that business ideas and opportunities abound, and they are as follows. 1. Hobbies. While having fun at what they enjoy doing, many people have started businesses. Converting hobbies into money-making opportunities has worked for very many entrepreneurs. For instance, if you love to travel, perform arts or into hospitality, you can look at starting a business venture in the tourism sector. Examples of hobbies that make money include sports, cooking, playing piano. 2. Experience. Many investors find it convenient to choose business ideas in line with their background. This is because they understand the terrain better. More than half of business ideas come from experiences at workplace. 3. The media. The mass media is also a platform for the generation and sources of business ideas in the following ways. Study commercial adverts on business needs and sales of entire businesses. Extract information from reports on changes in fashions or consumer needs. For example, healthy eating, weight loss. Sift through adverts for popular skills demanded, e.g. security, catering, web design. 4. Exhibitions. If you take time to study most exhibitions, you would be able to discover the nature of new products and rebranding ideas of existing products. Through talking with sales rep, manufacturers and end users, you will be able to find a gap to fill to start your own business. 5. Surveys. Surveys can either be done online or offline. Talking to neighbors, co-workers and family members about a particular product or service is a form of informal survey. The essence of carrying out surveys is to gather complaints from dissatisfied customers of new and existing products. You will be able to generate ideas to fine-tune your own investment so as to include improvements and changes most people would like to see. 6. Complaints. Anytime you hear a customer complain about a product such as "I wish there was, if they had," etc., there lies an idea for investment. You can either set up a competitor business with such firms offering a better product or sell that idea/product for improvement to the company directly. Talk to people, read comment and reviews on blogs and browse popular forums to gather complaints about that product. Complaint is one of the most practical primary sources of business ideas. 7. Brainstorming. Brainstorming involves using creative thinking to generate business ideas to solve problems. The first step is to identify a problem or question, and then brainstorming is a technique or creative problem solving as well as for generating ideas. The overall idea is to come up solutions as many as possible. Business experience. Many ideas for successful businesses come from people who have experience of working in a particular market or industry. For the startup, there are several advantages of applying this experience to a new business. 1. Better and more detailed understanding of what customers want. 2. Knowledge of competitors, pricing, suppliers, etc. 3. Less need for startup market research. 4. Entrepreneur is able to make more realistic assumptions in the business plan about sales, costs, etc. 5. Industry contacts, who might then become the first customers of the startup. Personal experience. Many ideas come to entrepreneurs from their day-to-day dealings in life, or from their hobbies and interests. For some of us, frustrating or bad experiences are a source of irritation. For the entrepreneur, they might suggest a business opportunity. It is often said that one of the best ways to spot a business opportunity is to look for examples of poor customer service, complaints, product returns, persistent queues, etc. Such examples suggest that there is an opportunity to do something better, quicker or cheaper than the existing products. Observation. Simply observing what goes on around you can be a good way of spotting an idea. Often an idea will be launched in another country and has not yet been tried in other, similar economies. Concept of creativity. Conwin and Penman, 1990, says that creativity is a rather mysterious process known mainly by its result and thus very difficult to define. They define creativity as types of creativity. Finding new and better solutions appears to be easy for some people. For such individuals, novel ideas and solutions flow freely. Kuhn, 1985, summarizes the personality traits associated with highly creative types as follows. Independent, creative types care more about the content of their tasks than customs of the organization or society. 1. Active, they seek action, not a comfortable role. 2. Intense, they take initiative and are persistent. 3. Competitive, they are competitive, but are very achievement and recognition oriented. 4. Subjective, they do not work well in a highly quantitative environment. 5. Conceited, creativity types that are special and will let others know openly. The creativity process, Albrecht and Albrecht, 1987, describe creativity as a 5-step process, and the 5 steps are: absorptive, this involves individuals opening up to their outside environment. In most cases, new information is required for new ideas and solution to come about, that is, new information is the raw material for creativity. Inspiration, according to Albrecht and Albrecht, 1987, inspiration is difficult to define and difficult to observe, because it happens so quickly we are not conscious of inspiration until it has already happened. Testing, determining if an idea truly has merit. Discipline and commitment should be exercised to move from inspiration to testing stage. Without proper and careful testing, new ideas never become useful ideas. Refinement, ideas are modified to make them feasible for practical use. Selling, this is the implementation stage for an entrepreneur trying to start a business. Obstacles to creativity. A number of forces work against the creativity process. The following are some of the factors that inhibit creative process or creativity. 1. Avoiding ambiguity. Creativity can be stilted by objectivity and specificity, allow some other forms of looking at things. 2. Fear and avoiding failure. Fear can paralyze action on good ideas, we should learn from mistakes and failures. 3. Pressures to conform or following the rules, question the rules and their limiting effects. 4. Being logical at all time, consider that logic does not always prevail, given human emotions, environmental inconsistencies, ambiguity and contradictions. 5. Confessing negatively, looking back at situations that were not pleasant and giving such statements as "No, I cannot do this, I am not good enough" acts as an impediment to the process of creativity. Techniques to enhance creativity. There are a large number of creativity techniques. Cornwall and Perlman, 1990, and 1998, presented 5 techniques. Mental calisthenics. Creative doodling, use of pictures, diagrams, charts or graph. It can be used to trace and record one's thought for future reference. Brainstorming. Checklist, usage of active verb to generate new idea, product or service. Value analysis, used to re-examine a product or service with the purpose of reducing its cost without reducing its utility to the consumer. The line of thought in value analysis or question to be posed or thought about can be as follows. Can cheaper materials be used? Are all present features necessary? Can the product cost be reduced? Are there any other functions that can be added? Summary of Study Session 4. In this study session, please note the following. 1. The world is driven by novelty and newer and better ways to accomplish familiar tasks. The process of developing a bright business idea is by the way of creativity. Some of these business ideas emanate from analysis of market and consumer needs, while others emanate from a long research process. 2. Business ideas and opportunities abound and they emanate from the inborn personality traits of an individual as well as the influence of environmental factors. 3. 10 main sources of business ideas were listed. 4. Creativity can be defined as the reorganization of experience into new configurations. 5. The development, proposal and implementation of new and better solutions. A function of knowledge, imagination and evaluation. 6. There are 5 main types of creativity. They are independent, active, intense, competitive, subjective, and conceited. 7. The various obstacles to creativity and techniques for enhancing creativity were also listed. Study Session 5, The Case Study. Introduction. Thomas, G. 2011. Case studies are analyses of persons, events, decisions, periods, projects, policies, institutions, or other systems that are studied holistically by one or more method. The case that is the subject of the inquiry will be an instance of a class of phenomena that provides an analytical frame and object within which the study is conducted and which the case illuminates and explicates. The concept of case study. A case study is a description of an actual administrative situation involving a decision to be made or a problem to be solved. It can be a real situation that actually happened just as described, or portions have been disguised for reasons of privacy. Most case studies are written in such a way that the reader takes the place of the manager whose responsibility is to make decisions to help solve the problem. In almost all case studies, a decision must be made, although the decision might be to leave the situation as it is and do nothing. The method of case study is a learning tool. The case method of analysis is a learning tool in which students and instructors participate in direct discussion of case studies, as opposed to the lecture method, where the instructor speaks and students listen and take notes. In the case method, students teach themselves, with the instructor being an active guide, rather than just a talking head delivering content. The focus is on students learning through their joint, cooperative effort. Assigned cases are first prepared by students, and this preparation forms the basis for class discussion under the direction of the instructor. Students learn, often unconsciously, how to evaluate a problem, how to make decisions, and how to orally argue a point of view. Using this method, they also learn how to think in terms of the problems faced by an administrator. In courses that use the case method extensively, a significant part of the student's evaluation may rest with classroom participation in case discussions, with another substantial portion resting on written case analyses. For these reasons, using the case method tends to be very intensive for both students and instructor. The short cycle process. 1. Quickly read the case. If it is a long case, at this stage you may want to read only the first few and last paragraphs. You should then be able to answer the following question. Who is the decision maker in this case, and what is their position and responsibilities? What appears to be the issue, of concern, problem, challenge, or opportunity, and its significance for the organization? Why has the issue arisen and why is the decision maker involved now? When does the decision maker have to decide, resolve, act or dispose of the issue? What is the urgency to the situation? 2. Take a look at the exhibits to see what numbers have been provided. 3. Review the case subtitles to see what areas are covered in more depth. 4. Review the case questions if they have been provided. This may give you some clues on what the main issues are to be resolved. The long cycle process. At this point, the task consists of two parts. 1. A detailed reading of the case. When you are doing the detailed reading of the case study, look for the following sections. Defining the issues. Analyzing the case data. Generating alternatives. Selecting decision criteria. Analyzing and evaluating alternatives. Selecting the preferred alternative. Developing an action/implementation plan. Two. Analyzing the case. Analyzing the case should take the following steps. Defining the issues. Analyzing the case data. Generating alternatives. Selecting decision criteria. Analyzing and evaluating alternatives. Selecting the preferred alternative. Developing an action/implementation plan. Issues of problem statement. The problem statement should be a clear, concise statement of exactly what needs to be addressed. This is not easy to write. The work that you did in the short cycle process answered the basic questions. Now it is time to decide what the main issues to be addressed are going to be in much more detail. Asking you the following questions may help. 1. What appears to be the problems here? 2. How do I know that this is a problem? Note that by asking this question, you will be helping to differentiate the symptoms of the problem from the problem itself. Example, while declining sales or unhappy employees are a problem to most companies, they are in fact, symptoms of underlying problems which need to be addressed. 3. What are the immediate issues that need to be addressed? This helps to differentiate between issues that can be resolved within the context of the case, and those that are bigger issues that needed to addressed at another time, preferably by someone else. 4. Differentiate between importance and urgency for the issues identified. Some issues may appear to be urgent, but upon closer examination are relatively unimportant, while others may be far more important, relative to solving our problem, than urgent. You want to deal with important issues in order of urgency to keep focused on your objective. Important issues are those that have a significant effect on analyzing the case data. In analyzing the case data, you are trying to answer the following. 1. Why or how did these issues arise? You are trying to determine cause and effect for the problems identified. You cannot solve a problem that you cannot determine the cause of. It may be helpful to think of the organization in question as consisting of the following components. Resources, such as materials, equipment, or supplies. People who transform these resources using processes, which create something of greater value. Now, where are the problems being caused within this framework, and why? Who is affected most by these issues? You are trying to identify who are the relevant stakeholders to the situation, and who will be affected by the decisions to be made. Summary of Study Session 5. In this study session, you have learned that 1. A case study is a description of an actual administrative situation involving a decision to be made or a problem to be solved. Most case studies are written in such a way that the reader takes the place of the manager whose responsibility is to make decisions to help solve the problem. 2. Preparing a case study involves two processes, the short cycle and the long cycle process. 3. The problem statement should be a clear, concise statement of exactly what needs to be addressed. 4. Certain factors are crucial to the analysis of a case data. 5 of these factors were listed. Study Session 6, Strategic Development. Introduction. The challenges that health institutions currently face are complex and changing. They include the need to improve access to and quality of health services and reform standard processes. Institutions must also respond to emerging disease, the lack of resources or new resource streams, and new donor priorities, among other challenges. Strategic development. Strategic planning is to a business what a map is to a road rally driver. It is a tool that defines the routes that when taken will lead to the most likely probability of getting from where the business is to where the owners or stakeholders want it to go. And like a road rally, strategic plans meet detours and obstacles that call for adapting and adjusting as the plan is implemented. As a company grows and as the business environment becomes more complex, the need for strategic planning becomes greater. There is a need for all people in the corporation to understand the direction and mission of the business. Companies consistently applying a disciplined approach to strategic planning are better prepared to evolve as the market changes and as different market segments require different needs for the products or services of the company. Michael Porter wrote in 1980 that formulation of competitive strategy includes consideration of 4 key elements. 1. Company strengths and weaknesses. 2. Personal values of the key implementers, i.e., management and the board. 3. Industry opportunities and threats, and 4. Broader societal expectations. The first 2 elements relate to factors internal to the company, i.e., the internal environment, while the latter 2 relate to factors external to the company, i.e., the external environment. The process of strategic formulation. In every company there are 2 independent and simultaneous processes through which strategy comes to be defined. 1. The first strategy-making process is conscious and analytical, involving assessments of market structure, competitive strengths and weaknesses, the nature of customer needs, and the drivers of market growth. Strategy in this process typically is formulated in a project with a discrete beginning and end. Top-tier management consultants often manage these projects. The result of this process is an intended or deliberate strategy. Intended strategies can be implemented as they have been envisioned if 3 conditions are met. First, those in the organization must understand each important detail in management's intended strategy. Second, if the organization is to take collective action, the strategy needs to make as much sense to each of the members in the organization as they view the world from their own context, as it does to top management. Thirdly, the collective intentions must be realized with little unanticipated influence from outside political, technological or market forces. 2. The second strategy-making process has been termed emergent strategy. It is the cumulative effect of day-to-day prioritization decisions made by middle managers, engineers, salespeople and financial staff, decisions that are made despite, or in the absence of, intentions. In fact, managers typically do not frame these decisions as strategic at all. At the time they are being made, they have a decidedly tactical character. Study Session 7, The Business Plan. Introduction. The purpose of a business plan is to explain in writing what your business idea is, why it is needed in the marketplace, how it will succeed and who will make it happen. In the process of writing a full business plan, you will essentially be forced to run your new business before you get in over your head. This study session will teach you all about business plan, and the importance of it will be learning as well. The business plan. A business plan is a written document that describes the business, its objectives, its strategic, its market and financial forecast. It also entails the goals of the business and clearly states why they are believed to be attainable. It is also a useful tool for monitoring and evaluation of the business, in order to keep performance on track. Before drafting a business plan, one should ensure the following are taken into consideration. 1. Ensure it is feasible. That is, its realistic nature. 2. Ensure it is flexible. One should bear in mind that it is a decision-making tool. 3. It should be void of ambiguity. That is, it should be understandable to all stakeholders. 4. It should be objective, it should reveal a high degree of honesty and not subject to own judgment. 5. Its business should be comprehensive and helpful. It should entail a sub-collection of other business plan. One for each business discipline. Finance, human resource, marketing and operations management, etc. Why write a business plan? Why should a business go through the trouble of constructing a business plan? There are 5 major reasons. 1. The process of putting a business plan together forces the person preparing the plan to look at the business in an objective and critical manner. 2. It helps to focus ideas and serves as a feasibility study of the business's chances for success and growth. 3. The finished report serves as an operational tool to define the company's present status and future possibilities. 4. It can help you manage the business and prepare you for success. It is a strong communication tool for your business. It defines your purpose, your competition, your management and personnel. The process of constructing a business plan can be a strong reality check. 5. The finished business plan provides the basis for your financing proposal. Planning is very important if a business is to survive. By taking an objective look at your business, you can identify areas of weakness and strength. You will realize needs that may have been overlooked, spot problems and nip them before they escalate, and establish plans to meet your business goals. Who should write the business plan? Owners of the business should write the plan. It doesn't matter if you are using the business plan to seek financial resources or to evaluate future growth, define a mission, or provide guidance for running your business. You are the one that knows the most about the business. There are a number of software packages in addition to this article that can assist you in the formatting process. Business Plan Pro, Palo Alto software are only 2 of many available. Consultants can be hired to assist you in the process of formulating a business plan, but in reality you must do a majority of the work. Only you can come up with the financial data, the purpose of your business, the key employees, and management styles, to mention a few items. You may still choose to use a consultant, but realize that you will still need to do most of the work. If you need further help in one area, then seek the assistance of the consultant. Business plan components. The first page of your business plan should be a persuasive summary that will entice a reader to take the plan seriously and read on. The executive summary should follow the cover page, and not exceed 2 pages in length. The summary should include a brief description of the company's history, the company's objectives, a brief description of the company's products or services, projected growth for the company and the market, a brief description of the key management team, a description of funding requirements, including a timeline and how the funds will be used, the product or service. It is important for the reader to thoroughly understand your product offering or the services you currently provide or plan on providing. However, it is important to explain this section in layman's terms to avoid confusion. Do not overwhelm the reader with technical explanations or industry jargon that he or she will not be familiar with. It is important to discuss the competitive advantage your product or service has over the competition. Or, if you are entering a new market, you should answer why there is a need for your offering. If appropriate, discuss any patents, copyrights and trademarks the company currently owns or has recently applied for, and discuss any confidential and non-disclosure protection the company has secured. Discuss any barriers that you face in bringing the product to market, such as government regulations, competing products, high product development costs, the need for manufacturing materials, etc. Areas that should be covered in this section include: is your product or service already on the market, or is it still in the research and development stage? If you are still in the development stage, what is the rollout strategy or timeline to bring the product to market? What makes your product or service unique? What competitive advantage does the product or service have over its competition? Can you price the product or service competitively and still maintain a healthy profit margin? Study Session 7, The Business Plan. Introduction. The purpose of a business plan is to explain in writing what your business idea is, why it is needed in the marketplace, how it will succeed and who will make it happen. In the process of writing a full business plan, you will essentially be forced to run your new business before you get in over your head. This study session will teach you all about business plan, and the importance of it will be learning as well. The business plan. A business plan is a written document that describes the business, its objectives, its strategic, its market and financial forecast. It also entails the goals of the business and clearly states why they are believed to be attainable. It is also a useful tool for monitoring and evaluation of the business, in order to keep performance on track. Before drafting a business plan, one should ensure the following are taken into consideration. 1. Ensure it is feasible. That is, its realistic nature. 2. Ensure it is flexible. One should bear in mind that it is a decision-making tool. 3. It should be void of ambiguity. That is, it should be understandable to all stakeholders. 4. It should be objective, it should reveal a high degree of honesty and not subject to own judgment. 5. Its business should be comprehensive and helpful. It should entail a sub-collection of other business plan. One for each business discipline. Finance, human resource, marketing and operations management, etc. Why write a business plan? Why should a business go through the trouble of constructing a business plan? There are 5 major reasons. 1. The process of putting a business plan together forces the person preparing the plan to look at the business in an objective and critical manner. 2. It helps to focus ideas and serves as a feasibility study of the business's chances for success and growth. 3. The finished report serves as an operational tool to define the company's present status and future possibilities. 4. It can help you manage the business and prepare you for success. It is a strong communication tool for your business. It defines your purpose, your competition, your management and personnel. The process of constructing a business plan can be a strong reality check. 5. The finished business plan provides the basis for your financing proposal. Planning is very important if a business is to survive. By taking an objective look at your business, you can identify areas of weakness and strength. You will realize needs that may have been overlooked, spot problems and nip them before they escalate, and establish plans to meet your business goals. Who should write the business plan? Owners of the business should write the plan. It doesn't matter if you are using the business plan to seek financial resources or to evaluate future growth, define a mission, or provide guidance for running your business. You are the one that knows the most about the business. There are a number of software packages in addition to this article that can assist you in the formatting process. Business Plan Pro, Palo Alto software are only 2 of many available. Consultants can be hired to assist you in the process of formulating a business plan, but in reality you must do a majority of the work. Only you can come up with the financial data, the purpose of your business, the key employees, and management styles, to mention a few items. You may still choose to use a consultant, but realize that you will still need to do most of the work. If you need further help in one area, then seek the assistance of the consultant. Business plan components. The first page of your business plan should be a persuasive summary that will entice a reader to take the plan seriously and read on. The executive summary should follow the cover page, and not exceed 2 pages in length. The summary should include a brief description of the company's history, the company's objectives, a brief description of the company's products or services, projected growth for the company and the market, a brief description of the key management team, a description of funding requirements, including a timeline and how the funds will be used, the product or service. It is important for the reader to thoroughly understand your product offering or the services you currently provide or plan on providing. However, it is important to explain this section in layman's terms to avoid confusion. Do not overwhelm the reader with technical explanations or industry jargon that he or she will not be familiar with. It is important to discuss the competitive advantage your product or service has over the competition. Or, if you are entering a new market, you should answer why there is a need for your offering. If appropriate, discuss any patents, Copyrights and trademarks the company currently owns or has recently applied for, and discuss any confidential and non-disclosure protection the company has secured. Discuss any barriers that you face in bringing the product to market, such as government regulations, competing products, high product development costs, the need for manufacturing materials, etc. Areas that should be covered in this section include: is your product or service already on the market, or is it still in the research and development stage? If you are still in the development stage, what is the rollout strategy or timeline to bring the product to market? What makes your product or service unique? What competitive advantage does the product or service have over its competition? Can you price the product or service competitively and still maintain a healthy profit margin? The market. Investors look for management teams with a thorough knowledge of their target market. If you are launching a new product, include your marketing research data. If you have existing customers, provide an analysis of which your customers are, their purchasing habits, their buying cycle. For more information, see these companion articles, Conducting a Marketing Analysis and Prepare a Customer Profile. This section of the plan is extremely important, because if there is no need or desire for your product or service, there won't be any customers. If a business has no customers, there is no business. This section of the plan should include: 1. A general description of your market. 2. The niche you plan on capitalizing on and why. 3. The size of the niche market. Include supporting documentation. 4. A statement and supporting documentation as to why you believe there is a need for your product or offering by this market. 5. What percentage of the market do you project you can capture? 6. What is the growth potential of the market? Include supporting documentation. 7. Will your share of the market increase or decrease as the market grows? 8. How will you satisfy the growth of the market? 9. How will you price your goods or services in the growing competitive market? The marketing strategy. Once you have identified who your market is, you'll need to explain your strategy for reaching the market and distributing your product or service. Potential investors will look at this section carefully to make sure there is a viable method to reach the target market identified at a price point that makes sense. Analyze your competitors' marketing strategies to learn how they reach the market. If their strategy is working, consider adopting a similar plan. If there is room for improvement, work on creating an innovative plan that will position your product or service in the minds of your potential customers. The most effective marketing strategies typically integrate multiple mediums or promotional strategies to reach the market. The following are some promotional options to consider. For more in-depth information on these media, see the article called Create a Promotional Package. 1. TV issue. 2. Radio. 3. Print. 4. Web. 5. Direct mail. 6. Trade shows. 7. Public relations. 8. Promotional materials. 9. Telephone sales. 10. One-on-one sales. 11. Strategic alliances. The competition. Understanding your competition's strengths and weaknesses is critical for establishing your products or services' competitive advantage. If you find a competitor is struggling, you need to know why, so you don't make the same mistake. If your competitors are highly successful, you'll want to identify why. You'll also want to explain why there is room for another player in the market. Specific areas to address in this section are: 1. Identify your closest competitors. Where are they located? What are their revenues? How long have they been in business? 2. Define their target market. 3. What percentage of the market do they currently have? 4. How do your operations differ from your competition? What do they do well? Where is there room for improvement? 5. In what ways is your business superior to the competition? 6. How is their business doing? Is it growing? Is it scaling back? 7. How are their operations similar to yours and how do they differ? 8. Are there certain areas of the business where the competition surpasses you? If so, what are those areas and how do you plan on compensating? 9. Analyzing your competitor should be an ongoing practice. Knowing your competition will allow you to become more motivated to succeed, efficient and effective in the marketplace. Operations. Now that you have had an opportunity to really sell your idea and wow potential investors, the next question on their mind is how you will implement the idea. What resources and processes are necessary to get the product to market? This section of the plan should describe the organization's purchasing, staffing, equipment and facilities required for your business. The management team. For most investors, the experience and quality of the management team is the most important aspect they evaluate when investing in a company. Investors must feel confident that the management team knows its market, product and has the ability to implement the plan. In essence, your plan must communicate management's capabilities in obtaining the objectives outlined in the plan. If this area is lacking, your chances for obtaining financing are bleak. If your team lacks in a critical area, identify how you plan on compensating for the void. Whether it is additional training required or additional management staff needed, show that you know the problem exists, and provide your options for solutions. When preparing this section of the business plan, you should address the following 5 areas. Personal history of the principals. Business background of the principals. Past experience tracking successes, responsibilities and capabilities. Educational background, formal and informal, personal data, age, current address, past addresses, interests, education, special abilities, reasons for entering into a business. Work experience. Direct operational and managerial experience in this type of business. Indirect managerial experiences. 1. Duties and responsibilities. Who will do what and why? Organizational chart with a chain of command and listing of duties. Who is responsible for the final decisions? 2. Salaries and benefits. A simple statement of what management will be paid by position. Listing of bonuses in realistic terms. Benefits, medical, life insurance, disability. 3. Resources available to your business. 1. Insurance brokers. 2. Lawyer. 3. Accountant. 4. Consulting groups. 5. Small business association. 6. Local business information centers. 7. Chambers of commerce. 8. Local colleges and universities. 9. Federal, state, and local agencies. 10. Board of Directors. 11. World Wide Web, various search engines. 12. Banker. Personnel. The success of a business can often be measured by its employees. 70% of consumers will go elsewhere if they don't receive prompt and courteous service. You must consider the following questions in completing this section of the business plan. 1. What are your current personnel needs, full or part-time? How many employees do you envision in the near future and then in the next 3 to 5 years? 2. What skills must your employees have? What will their job descriptions be? 3. Are the people you need readily available and how will you attract them? 4. Will you be paying salaries or hourly wages? 5. Will there be benefits? If so, what will they be, and at what cost? 6. Will you pay overtime? Financial data. At the heart of any business operation is the accounting system. It is important to have a certified public accountant establish your accounting system before the start of business. At times there is a tendency to do it yourself. Remember that an incredible number of businesses fail due to managerial inefficiencies. Leave it to the trained professional to help you in the area of accounting and legal matters. If your business can't afford a public accountant to establish your books, then you are undercapitalized. You need to secure additional resources before starting. One of the first steps to having a profitable business is to establish a bookkeeping system that provides you with data in the following 4 areas. 1. Balance sheet indicates what the cash position of the business is and what the owner's equity is at a given point. The balance sheet will show assets, liabilities, and retained earnings. 2. Break-even analysis. This is based on the income statement and cash flow. All businesses should perform this analysis without exception. A break-even analysis shows the volume of revenue from sales that are needed to balance the fixed and variable expenses. 3. Income statement. This, also called the profit and loss statement, is used to indicate how well the company is managing its cash, by subtracting disbursements from receipts. 4. Cash flow. This projects all cash receipts and disbursements. Cash flow is critical to the survival of any business. The forecast that you generate should cover a 3 to 5 year period. This is a period in which realistic goals can be established and attained without much speculation. Forecasts should be broken down in monthly increments. Projections and forecasts are an integral part of your financial portfolio. Carefully and accurately state your assumptions. Honesty is the best policy. Over-optimism and over-inflation can lead to failure. For more help, review the tools, conduct a sales forecast, and prepare a balance sheet. Supporting documentation. You must include any documents that lend support to statements made in the body of your company's business plan. The following is a list of some items for your consideration. Please be aware that this list is not complete and may vary depending on the stage of development of your business. 1. Resumes. 2. Credit information, include an appendix. 3. Quotes or estimates. 4. Letters of intent from prospective customers. 5. Letters of support from credible people who know you. 6. Leases or buy/sell agreements. 7. Legal documents relevant to the business. 8. Census/demographic data. Summary of Study Session 7. In this study session, please note the following. 1. A business plan is a written document that describes the business, its objectives, its strategy, its market, and its financial forecast. It is also a useful tool for monitoring and evaluation of the business, in order to keep performance on the track. 2. When drafting a business plan, the certain factors must be taken into consideration. 5 of these factors were listed above. 3. The business plan consists of various components. 10 samples of the components were explained.